Welcome back to Science Simplified, everyone. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of materials science, a field that's crucial for tackling some of humanity's biggest challenges, from climate change to energy storage.
Exactly, Sally. And it's a world that often relies on incredibly complex computer simulations to design and discover new materials. But these simulations can take a really long time, which slows down the whole process.
That's where today's topic comes in. A new method called Finetuna, which uses a clever blend of machine learning and what's known as density functional theory, or DFT calculations, to dramatically speed things up. We'll be exploring how effective this is and where it might fall short.
So, DFT calculations, those are the really computationally intensive, accurate calculations, right? The ones that take forever to run on even the most powerful supercomputers?
Precisely, Justin. DFT is like the gold standard for accuracy when simulating the behavior of materials at the atomic level, but it's incredibly demanding. Finetuna aims to leverage the power of machine learning to get similar results, but much, much faster.
Let's get into the specifics then. How does Finetuna work? It seems to be using something called graph neural networks. What are those?
Great question, Sally. Think of a molecule or material as a network of interconnected atoms, kind of like a graph. Graph neural networks are a type of machine learning model specifically designed to work with this type of data. They can learn complex patterns within the connections between atoms, making predictions about their behavior.
So, it's basically teaching a computer to understand chemistry, to predict how molecules will behave based on their structure.
Exactly. But the researchers used something pretty smart. They didn't start from scratch, they used a pre-trained graph neural network. It was already trained on a massive dataset of materials, giving it a solid foundation.
That's what they call transfer learning, right? Using an existing model and fine-tuning it for a new task.
Yes. This pre-trained model is then used in Finetuna's active learning strategy. Finetuna strategically decides when to run a full DFT calculation and uses the results to refine its machine learning model, getting better and better over time. Imagine it as an apprentice learning a craft from a master.
So, it's kind of like a collaboration between the machine learning model and DFT. The model handles most of the work, but DFT steps in to correct its mistakes and improve its accuracy, ensuring things remain reliable.
That's a great analogy, Justin. But the study found some interesting challenges. They tested Finetuna on various materials, alcohols, metal oxides, and 3D structures. It worked beautifully for alcohols, which are relatively similar to the materials it was initially trained on. However, things became more complicated with metal oxides and 3D structures.
Why is that? What makes those materials so different?
Well, metal oxides, especially, often exhibit spin polarization, meaning their electrons have different spins, and this is something that the initial machine learning model struggled with. 3D structures like zeolites are also extremely complex, with long-range interactions between atoms, making them difficult for the simpler model to fully capture.
So, it's not just about the chemistry, but also the way the atoms interact with each other, and that becomes increasingly challenging to model computationally as things get more complex.
Absolutely. The research found that a more conservative approach, performing more DFT checks, was needed for these more complex materials to ensure the accuracy didn't drop significantly.
So, Finetuna isn't a one-size-fits-all solution? It needs adjustments depending on the material being studied?
Exactly. The study demonstrated that the success of Finetuna depends heavily on how similar the new material is to the data used to train the initial model. The closer the match, the better and more efficient Finetuna becomes.
That makes a lot of sense. So what are the main takeaways here?
Finetuna shows incredible promise for speeding up materials simulations. It's a powerful tool, but it's not a magic bullet. Its success depends on the complexity of the materials. For materials that are similar to those used in training, it shows huge improvements in efficiency and speed. For materials unlike those used in training, more refinement and caution are required. The key is strategic model selection and adaptation of its querying techniques for each type of material.
And that highlights the ongoing need for improved machine learning models, ones that can better capture these complex interactions and handle a wider variety of materials.
Absolutely. The development of more advanced machine learning models, combined with more sophisticated active learning strategies, will be key to making Finetuna, and similar methods, even more powerful and reliable for various materials simulations in the future.
It's amazing to think about how we're using artificial intelligence to accelerate our understanding of the natural world and to help us discover entirely new materials to solve some of our biggest problems. This sounds like a great area for continued research and development.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining us on Science Simplified. Join us next time for more fascinating explorations into the world of science and technology.